Yeah, okay, cool. Hello, people. It's Rolly 121 here, and we have a very special guest tonight, Mr. Rok Kopp with us, the co-founder and growth officer, am I right, at Ether Finance Protocol. Hi, Rok.
Hey, Rolly, how are you? Yeah, thanks for having me on. Yep, that's correct. I'm co-founder and I run our growth over at Ether.fi. So thanks for having me on. Looking forward to chatting.
Yeah, I checked you up on LinkedIn and followed you up also there. So nice to meet you.
Nice.
Happy to have you
You guys,
here with us. Thanks for
yeah, thanks
joining.
for having me.
Uh, so
Yeah, our team's
uh,
fully
le-
doxed.
le-
So if anyone wants to see us on LinkedIn, you can. We're a fully doxed team, so
Yeah,
we're
that's
around.
where that's very cool and very nice because it's always good to speak with a co-founder of successful, I can call it successful crypto startup project with 100% docs team, which is fine. So please let us
Yep.
start. Can you introduce yourself? Tell us about your path and how you end up like in this crypto project.
Yeah, yeah, good question. So my career mainly has been in software, and so I kind of got started once the apps were starting to be built on the iPhone. So I got in to it in 2008 in the software, and kind of Mike, who's my other co-founder, we worked at a higher ed software company before called Top Hat, and so we were. That's actually where I bought my first Bitcoin. We sent it to some guy, like sent money over PayPal. We actually sold the coins way too early, but we did not have diamond hands. But that's where it started. And so I was in software, and you know being in software and startups, like new things have always interested me, and that was the biggest thing that kind of appealed to me about crypto. Time like this Bitcoin thing came up, I was like, ah, that sounds cool, like whatever, it's kind of became hot. And I think in 2011, I think it was, when we were in the office and made a purchase. Um, and so anyway, that's like kind of where we started, and started talking about it. We continued to run Top Hat in the Top Hat company. Mike stayed there for 10 years. He exited in 2020, and then launched a hedge fund in 2021. So
Mhm.
that's kind of how we got into crypto. That got up to like $100 million assets under management. And we got caught up in the FTXing a little bit, and actually out of that spun Ether.fi. One of our funds was an ETH staking fund that we were staking with Lido. We became pretty unhappy with the counterparty risk. So that's kind of like how we started and how we got going.
Yeah,
So
it's a good path. It's a good path.
yeah.
Tell us a little bit more about the hedge fund, what you're basically doing, and how you get involved people there to the hedge fund. Is it like normal people that can put money there, or just institutionals?
It was just institutional. So we actually shut the hedge fund, the market neutral strategy, which was the main strategy. We shut that strategy down. We still have our ETH fund open. It's for institutions who want to come in. It has to go like through fully KYC'd, and they get these monthly reports and annual audits and stuff that the institutions have to do when they invest. So that is still open, but for people who just want to invest, their Ethereum with Ether.fi, the best way to do it is just minting ETH, which is our liquid staking token. So I'm sure we'll talk about that. But yeah.
Yeah, so basically it was like my next questions because I want to talk about a little bit about the idea behind the other Fi, how it all started, and I guess you started answering because it's like an idea for normies to get involved, right?
Yeah, yeah, totally. So when we started, like I said, we had this ETH staking fund, and we had $20 million or whatever, and we were staking through Lido. And so after
Yeah.
FTX, we were just diving deeper into our counterparty risk, and we realized like there's tons of black swan events that could happen with Lido. And so we decided to build our own protocol. Our protocol is focused on decentralization, focused on stakers controlling the keys rather than the node operators. 32 node operators control all the withdrawal keys for Lido, which is crazy. Like when you think about the amount of stake that they kind of hold. So that's like our focus and kind of what we built this thing off of. We went out to market, saw if there was any appetite for it, saw there was market even in like the bottom of the bear, right? Like we were January 2023. is when we went out to raise, and sentiment was low. But we were able to raise around, not a lot of funding was given to that point. We raised around, fast forward to today, we have over $80 million in TVL. There's over 35,000 ETH that's staked through the platform. And yeah, the biggest thing, we wanted to provide a safe avenue for people to stake. And now it's a safe avenue for people to stake and restake. So that's been super, like when we started, the idea was safe staking, but we think restaking is going to be just massive. So I say safe staking and restaking now.
So basically, if we're talking about Ether finance protocol, so it proposes like normies, normal people, to do some kind of safe staking. Means that people retaining the controls for their keys, right? And
That's right.
Can you explain how it happens? How people really keeping control over their keys?
Yeah. So there's 32 ETH that's in a validator, and in our protocol, what we've done, there's 2 ETH that it's called a BNFT, and so those whoever is the BNFT holder generates the keys that are necessary to run a validator. They encrypt those keys and send them to the node operator, who then spins up the validator and runs the validator. No one has control of those keys except the staker. So they're the only ones that can take the ETH out of the node and exit the node. And so that process, it's fairly convoluted, right? Like it all goes through our technology and our protocol. It's fairly convoluted right now. You have to store keys and like store them locally, and so it's a bit much, to be honest, right now. Fast forward 3 to 6 months, I'd say we're going to make it really easy where people can generate BNFTs and store the keys. So we have like holders of keys kind of dispersed globally. So it's super important for us to make sure that we decentralize as much as possible. It's really a focus for us and a driving force of our company.
It's really cool. So basically, I would be right if I would say that it's impossible to hack the protocol to get the Ethereum out of it. Like, for example, if some hacker would do something like that.
Yeah, so I mean, like obviously there's always smart contract risk. Like that's one of the things that happens. The majority of our ETH is in the beacon chain, and so it's very secure there, right? Like securing the actual Ethereum network. We have a liquidity pool where people can kind of trade in and out of. That is the one like smart contract that would be at risk, I guess, like if there was a hack, and so that's like, I guess what would be a concern for people. But in general, like that's like 1 to 3% of the protocol, so it's just not a ton of ETH that we keep there. So that's the most important thing. Like we have a ton of smart contracts, so there's obviously risk on it, but the majority of the assets are kept in the beacon chain, which really minimizes the risk of any like hacking.
Great. Yeah, good to hear. Okay, so let's go back to January 2023 when you started and you had your first investment into the Ether finance. So basically, you have a strong investors, backers. One of them is Arthur Hayes, which is a very popular person in the crypto community. How did you manage to get them all on board, and how hard it was to close this very first round?
Yeah, it was a super hard time to raise funding. Yeah, we have like 30 investors on our cap table. So we're super fortunate to have great investors. Arthur is a well-known one. We have other really well-known angels, and then have great lead investors too. So North Island Ventures, Chapter One, Arrington Capital, Version One Ventures. We have really good investors. So can't say enough good things about it. I think the biggest thing that landed with people was the tail risk that Lido provides, like that it is a very centralized entity, and so that is what people bought into. I think it was also helpful that we had built a company before. So much of crypto doesn't have clear revenue models. We like staking because there's a very clear revenue model. Now, like you have to get a lot of ETH in to make money. Like the company makes about $500,000 once $100 million is staked. So it's not a lot of money, right? Like if you think about that, like we have a team of 11 people, like, you know, we're not even paying our full team. When we make that. So you really got to get to a specific, like, you got to get to a certain like level here before it makes sense. But I think people liked that we had an idea of how revenue was going to sustain this thing, and it's not just like an endless flood of VC capital that's going to be necessary to keep the thing running.
Okay, cool. Let's talk about the protocol. Can you just explain, like, a 5 years old, like the easiest way for normies, for easiest way to get involved to the protocol? Like, let's imagine that people who watching this video never been involved into EtherFi. Just show them this, please.
Cool. Sounds good. Yeah, appreciate it. So if you just go to Ether.fi, so ETHER.fi, and then what you'll do is you'll connect your wallet. You connect your wallet, any wallet works. You can use Wallet Connect, or you can do MetaMask, whatever wallet you like. We support every wallet. You will then take your ETH. So you have to have ETH in that wallet, and you will mint EETH. It is 1-to-1. So if you have 1 ETH that you put in the protocol, you'll get 1 EETH back. The rewards accrue to that EETH. So let's say rewards are 5% for a year. At the end of that year, you will have 1.05 EETH. And that can be redeemed for ETH at any time. Again, you'd get 1.05 ETH back as well. But it all accrues to EETH. That EETH you can hold in your wallet, and it just sits there, and it accrues rewards. There's nothing else you need to do. So it's super simple, takes a minute. Go to Ether.fi, connect your wallet, put however much ETH that you want in, you stake it, and then you'll have EETH, which will just accrue the rewards. So that's the easiest explanation of it. For the DeFi degens, if they want to, that liquid staking token is composable in DeFi. So you can go LP into different protocols, Curve, Balancer, Gravita, Sommelier, Pendle's coming up, Prisma, like, you know, exciting different strategies. I think that some of the DeFi degens love.
Yeah, that's very nice. But you're mainly focusing right now only on normal staking, not staking via the NFTs, because it started from the NFTs, and me as a personal huge fan of the NFTs, I aped in like immediately because it's totally fun for me. So what you're focusing more at the moment?
Yeah, totally. So the NFTs are backed by wrapped EE. So it's the same thing.
Yeah.
We you know, the floor on the NFTs is like increased kind of dramatically. It's kind of wild that what people are like trading these things for now. So and I think we'll keep it at 10,000 NFTs just to keep it like exclusive and stuff. Like, some people have earned them. Those who haven't, I think they've been rewarded pretty nicely. So you know, there's still about 1,000 NFTs that can be minted. I think it's like 9,000 to 10,000 have been minted. But like, we'll keep a cap on it, and then you know, those will be like I think there'll be something that are in like high demand, right? Because there's actual ETH behind the NFT. And we think that they're like having utility behind the NFT is super important and good. So the biggest thing we're focused on now is, I guess, one was getting like mainstream for normies, so to speak, and like giving a super simple option to stake ETH.
Yep.
And that is what EETH is. And then the second thing that we're focused on is restaking. So when you get EETH, there's 3 types of rewards that you get just by getting EETH. So your base staking rewards from Ethereum is one. You get eigenlayer points that you accrue, and then you get EtherFi points that you accrue. So we have a whole you know, blog on loyalty points and what they're going to do. We've said they'll have a role in decentralized governance. I think eigenlayer, we don't know what the points will do, but like they've mentioned at some point that they will probably have a token. So anyway, like, you accrue those points, we pass 100% of the points through, and you know, it's a super simple way to kind of attract rewards.
Cool. Sounds great. That's what we are doing. Okay, cool. Next question is regarding like low bank users. So basically, mainnet Ethereum has nowadays huge gas fees, and it's cutting a lot of low bank users. Maybe you have any plans in future to go kind of cross chain or add different chains to the protocol?
Yeah. Yes. So in short, like, ZK EVM will come in the next couple of weeks, I think. So like that's like the first one we're focused on. Arbitrum, Base, etc. So like we are working on an L2 strategy. I think next year we'll be on most L2s is what I would say at the highest level. So yeah, we're 100% on board and kind of working through that.
Wow, that sounds bullish.
Yeah, for
That's
sure.
really
Yeah,
nice.
it's I think that it's like L2s are going to have a place for sure. So we're going to definitely make sure we have a strategy there.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Okay, cool. Okay, next questions a little bit regarding things more technical. I want to ask you about the solo staker. What is it, and how normal person could become a solo staker in the Ether.fi protocol?
Yeah, great question. So if you go to Ether.fi, there's a tab for solo stakers. You can
Yeah.
submit your application there at any point. It's an ongoing thing. We will continue to bring more stakers in. You can either use your own hardware or we supply the hardware for people, where you pay back the rewards over time. And so essentially you get like a free machine that comes out of it. So Operation Solo Staker is one of those things that like has us very focused on decentralization. We think that it's kind of crazy to have like 50% of Ethereum nodes run in US Amazon East, which is just crazy,
Yes.
right? Like it's
Yes.
not very like decentralized for what is supposed to be a decentralized network. And so I think getting machines in the hands of solo stakers is super important. We leverage distributed validator technology, or DVT, which allows us to have multiple machines validate blocks. And so it's not just one machine that needs to validate, where you would have like significant slashing risk. So the current group that's together, 7 of the 10 have to attest a block, and if they do that, then things go fine and go well. So if one's offline, or one's internet goes down, whatever it might be, right? Like there's a variety of different things, and so that's been super helpful and good for us, and we're super excited about kind of what's happening there and in that program. So yeah, feel free to send an application in. We'll continue to to kind of scale from there.
Yeah, we are very interested in that, me personally. Okay, cool. Next one from the documentation is you already mentioned the BNFT stakers to Ethereum BNFT stakers. Can you talk a little bit more about it?
Yeah, so those will be people like, think of it as like solo stakers. Like you're going to have a role in running these validators, make sure that like people are testing and that validators aren't getting slashed. Yeah, that'll that'll be rolling out in the next 3 to 6 months, I would say. So like you'll have you'll control the withdrawal keys for a validator, and kind of ensuring that things are operating and running in a good position.
So it's kind of a part of solo staking program, right?
Exactly. Yep.
Cool. Interesting. Very interesting. Great. So finally, the most important question. I think whole community is excited about points, because everybody is mining points, and points currently in this crypto market and in this cycle is something kind of people getting crazy about. And I think you guys started this points mania, I would say.
Yeah.
Can you describe basically, maybe you have some insights for the community, what are these for? And there is information on the roadmap that the protocol will be decentralized and so on.
Yeah.
Maybe some insights about the points and why do we need it?
Yeah, good question. So we want to reward our most loyal and long-standing customers. So airlines have done this for years. They do loyalty point like things, and so that's actually the model that we used when we created this. I think they do a really good job. People are very loyal to the airline they fly because you get the benefits of points. It makes sense to fly one airline rather than be distributed. And so that's kind of why we followed that. There's a whole doc that on our docs about loyalty points and what they are. There's a variety of different use cases for them. We have said it will play a role in decentralized governance, have voting power, etc. So all those things are super important, and is kind of on our path there. So yeah, it's kind of crazy how many people have taken on the points thing ever since we kind of rolled it out. But I'm glad people have it. I think it's a super attractive and appealing
I think we covered most of the questions that I prepared. Thank you for your time. I know that nowadays you're quite busy because we transferred this call for a while, but still manage it.
Yeah, thanks for having me. And yeah, so if you want to get involved with Ether.fi, just go to Ether.fi, and you can stake and get ETH and start collecting rewards on your ETH today.
Anything you would like to say to people that's gonna watch this video, because this video will be translated to Russian language? Anything you would like to say to Russian-speaking audience, for example?
Appreciate your support. Feel free to give us feedback, and we look forward to helping further decentralize the Ethereum network.
Rock and roll. Thank you very much, sir. See you online.